Have you ever looked at your payslip and had that nagging feeling that something just isn't quite right? That maybe, just maybe, you're paying a bit too much tax? Well, you're not alone, and you might be onto something. That little string of letters and numbers on your payslip, your tax code, could be the key to unlocking money that is rightfully yours. So today, we're going to demystify this whole thing. We've actually teamed up with the tax experts at Pro Tax Accountant to put this guide together. These are the folks who deal with this stuff day in, day out, so they know exactly what to look for. They've helped us create a really clear step-by-step path for you to understand and, most importantly, correct your tax code. And believe me, the stakes can be pretty high. I mean, just imagine getting a letter from HMRC saying you're due a refund of £2,500. It sounds almost too good to be true, right? But it literally happened to someone who found a simple and surprisingly common error in their tax code. Okay, so what's the game plan for today? First, we're going to crack your paycheck's secret code. Then, we'll dig into why these things go wrong so often. After that, I'll show you exactly how to play detective, where to find your code and what it all means. And the crucial bit, how to get it fixed. Finally, we'll talk about the payoff, claiming a refund, and also when it might be time to call in the experts for a little backup. Right, let's dive into Section 1 and start with the absolute basics. What on earth is this so-called secret code that's hiding in plain sight on your payslip? The best way to think about your tax code is like an instruction manual that HMRC sends directly to your employer. It tells them exactly how much of your pay is tax-free and how much they need to tax. Now, if that instruction manual is wrong, guess what? The final calculation is going to be wrong too. Simple as that. For the 2025-26 tax year, the standard code for most people with one job is 1257L. Okay, so you're probably thinking, hang on, if HMRC sets the code, how can it possibly be wrong? Well, you'd be surprised. Errors are incredibly common. And you know what? It's often no fault of your own. It usually just happens when life happens, when your circumstances change. These are the classic triggers right here. You start a new job, they don't have your P45 from your last place, so bam, they stick you on an emergency tax code. Or maybe you pick up a second job to earn a bit extra, but your entire tax-free allowance is still sitting with your main employer. Perhaps you get a new company benefit, like private health insurance, and HMRC just hasn't caught up. And yeah, sometimes it's just a simple admin slip-up. It happens. Let's make this feel a bit more real. Meet Aisha. She's a project manager in London, has her main job sorted, but she starts a little freelance gig on the side to save up some extra cash. Her new client's payroll department just puts her on what's called a BR tax code. Now, what does this mean? It means every single pound she earns from that freelance work is getting taxed immediately, with zero tax-free allowance. That's going to take a huge bite out of her take-home pay. So, how do you figure out if this is happening to you? Well, this is where you get to become a bit of a financial detective. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to find your code and figure out what it's telling you. And the good news is, the clues are all right there for you to find. You see, your tax code isn't really a secret at all. It's printed right there on your payslip. You'll also spot it on your P60. That's the yearly summary your employer has to give you. HMRC might also pop a letter in the post called a tax code notice if things change. But honestly, the easiest ways to check these days, just look on the official HMRC app or log into your personal tax account online. And here's a little pro tip for you. If you haven't done it already, go and set up your online personal tax account with HMRC. Seriously, it is by far the quickest and most powerful way to see what's going on, check your income details, and tell HMRC directly if something's off. It really puts you in the driver's seat. So let's look at the two most common codes you'll see. Over on the left, we have 1257L. That's the standard one. It means you get the full tax-free personal allowance of £12,570. But on the right, you've got BR, which stands for basic rate. This one tells your employer to tax every single penny you earn at a flat 20%. It's often correct for a second job, but if you see this on your main job's payslip, that is a huge red flag. Stay with me, the next point might surprise you. Then there's this one, 0T. Now, just like BR, it means you get no personal allowance. But here's the key difference. While BR is a flat 20%, 0T applies the proper tax bands. So you could be paying 20%, 40%, or even 45%, depending on how much you earn. You usually see this code if you're earning over $125,140 a year, which is where your personal allowance gets reduced to zero, or if your employer just doesn't have enough info to give you a proper code. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This brings us right back to that £2,500 refund we mentioned at the start. This is a real quote from someone online who found this exact problem. Their main job had mistakenly put them on a BR code. They were being taxed on their first 12.5 grand of income when they shouldn't have been. The result? A massive overpayment and a very, very welcome rebate once they got it sorted. Now, your tax code can also have some other special letters. If you see a K at the start, it usually means you have extra income that isn't being taxed somewhere else, like a company car, and HMRC is collecting that tax through your wages. M or N has to do with the marriage allowance, where you can transfer a bit of your allowance to your spouse. So yeah, it can get a little complicated, which is exactly why checking the details is so important. Okay, so you've found your code. You think you understand what it means, and you're pretty sure it's wrong. So what do you do now? This is the good part. This is the bit that can save you real money. And honestly, the process is pretty straightforward. Step 1, get in touch with HMRC. The best way is through your online account. Step 2, give them the right information, all the details about your jobs and income. Step 3, just wait for them to work their magic. HMRC will issue a new, correct tax code to both you and your employer. And then the final, crucial step is on you. Check your very next payslip and make sure that new code is on there. All right, so you've fixed the code moving forward. Awesome. But what about all that money that was handled incorrectly in the past? Well, this is where your detective work really pays off. Now I want you to remember this number, 4. That is the magic number. You can claim back any tax you've overpaid for up to 4 previous tax years plus the current one. So if your code has been wrong for a while, this can add up to a really significant chunk of money. Don't just leave it sitting with the taxman.
So here's what happens. If you've overpaid, HMRC will eventually send you a letter called a P800 tax calculation, and a refund will follow, either as a check or through your payroll. Now, if it turns out you've underpaid, don't panic. If it's less than £3,000, they'll usually just tweak your tax code for next year to collect it back slowly. For bigger amounts, they'll get in touch to arrange a payment.
For most people, especially if you just have 1 or 2 simple jobs, this is totally something you can manage yourself. But some situations are just more complicated. And that's when getting professional help is an absolute game changer. If you're juggling a few jobs, maybe you've got some rental income, you're self-employed on the side, or things just feel a bit messy, getting an expert to look things over is a really smart move. They can sort it all out, talk to HMRC for you, and just give you that total peace of mind that everything is correct. Now, just before we wrap up, I have to say this. The information we've gone through today is for general guidance. Everyone's financial situation is unique, so you shouldn't rely on this exclusively to make any big decisions. For advice that's tailored specifically to you and your situation, you really must consult with a qualified tax expert. If you want to dive deeper or need a hand with your own tax code, the team at Pro Tax Accountant are ready to help. You can get in touch with them on WhatsApp or by phone at 07985 689912 or just drop them an email at info@protaxaccountant.co.uk. Go on, take control of your tax code. It could be one of the most profitable checks you make all year.